Recording in progress.
That makes
Give me a moment to get this sorted here.
There it is. That must be one of those that I got it and it was busy. And I said, okay, I'll
Which
read
side
that
do you
later.
usually lean to? That way or?
That way, I think. Oh, I do remember this. Okay.
We did get,
Mea culpa. Yeah, the volunteer.
what was the date?
January
January
26th.
26th at 12:25 PM.
Okay,
That's when I got mine.
I'll check.
But I can't read it because I'm not on internet and I have to get what the thing is here, so.
Let us know when you're ready, Chris.
Yeah, I need another.
Okay.
You can share.
Anyway, I have nothing to say anyway. Oh, we have.
Larry needs one because he's going to be
Mary
talking.
needs one.
I won't
She's the
talk.
talker.
All right.
Hey, that's why you have me.
You have mine, don't you? You want mine?
Yeah,
I
And
give you a boundary.
we're sharing.
All right, I'll share with, I
A
don't really.
boundary,
I was
right.
gonna say, you can have mine.
This will tell me I don't have purple ladies.
Yeah.
Okay, you're on.
Okay, thanks.
Where did you get that?
Good morning, everyone.
Did that
Welcome to
come
the
through email?
Groveland Council on Aging Annual,
Printed it at home.
monthly,
From what you
annual,
sent
monthly board meeting. May I have a call to open the meeting?
9:36.
A motion. to open the meeting.
Motion to open the meeting?
Did we do that?
Second it.
All in favor? You here? Thank you, so moved. I'll take a turn this time and read the mission statement. I've done it for a while. Oh, do we want to introduce ourselves to everybody? All right. Larry?
I'm Larry McElhenney, a board member.
Irene Thomas, board member and secretary.
Barbara Sanborn, Chair of the Board.
Laurel Pahalski, Vice Chair.
Marie Wall, treasurer. Linda Brown, board member.
Deb Stevenson, board member.
Thank you. All right, I will read the Council on Aging mission statement. The mission of the Council on Aging is to advocate for Groveland's older adults, to identify their needs, to develop and implement services to meet their health, economic, social, and cultural needs, to encourage maximum independence, and to improve their quality of life. Approval of minutes for the January 17th meeting and February 1st special meeting.
I made the correction
Is there any discussion?
that you sent
on
Deb.
that?
I made the correction that you sent Deb.
All right. If there's no
Are we
other,
voting on
We
both
have to
together?
vote on them separately because I
Yes.
can't
Yes.
vote on the second meeting. I wasn't in
Right.
attendance.
and I wasn't
Okay.
here on the 17th, so may I have a motion to accept the minutes of the January 17th meeting?
Make a motion.
Second.
Was that Linda who made the motion? Okay.
All those in favor? Did you have enough? Okay,
Oh, yes.
okay, thank you. I didn't vote because I wasn't at that meeting.
Right.
Any discussion or questions about the February
February.
1st special meeting minutes? All right, may I have a motion to accept the minutes for the February 1st special meeting?
Motion to accept February 1st. Second.
Marie.
Thank you.
All those in favor? So moved.
And I
Thank you.
abstain.
Right.
Director's report, please.
So my sincere apologies, I did not get it out to you ahead of time. There's a lot going on, which is great news, and I will send this to you via email as well. But the big things that I think you are well aware of is that we have Maria Stefanos coming to us on March 9th at 1 o'clock. There are just a handful of seats available. We had priority registration for Groveland residents. And set the capacity for this room, I think, at 46 for people. So I would also thank Barbara for extending the invitation to Maria, and also will be hosting the conversation. So appreciate it.
Excuse me, what did you say the capacity was?
46
46?
for this room. Yeah. I mean, we have, you know, thinking about chairs and health and safety and so forth. The trifold has been printed out. Thank you all for your help and edits. We do have a photographer in mind. Her name is Carrie Goodwin. She has kindly and graciously said that she would help us out with pictures. So once we get those running, ideally we will replace these pictures with member pictures, so a little more personalized. We are hoping to, again, this was funded by the SIG grant. We're hoping to do a nutrition flyer as well as transportation and a few other things for us just to sort of have on hold for when people come in. And then the other big thing that happened since we last met, most of you were there, but was the finance committee meeting with the town. That happened at the end of January. I think we're all, you know, we presented. The only big ask was about the assistant director salary, and now we just sort of wait until mid-March and see what they come back with. If we go into financial highlights, I did not yet, again, such a time crunch for me this time, have the balance sheet, but I did put in some highlights there. Nothing out of the ordinary, all of our normal expenses, our cell phone, our programming, our gas. But I will say that in January we did get a few generous contributions. One from the St. James Episcopal Church supporting the food pantry, another large individual donation, and certainly a great number of smaller gifts from individual donors. Again, none of these were solicited. They were all just given because they know we could use the support. So all in all, that brought us in about $1,060. On the finance side, once I send out the balance sheet, that you'll see that the expense line, we had a budget, the town budget of $3,500. We will have exceeded that come February, so just a heads up. And then, of course, we will then allocate expenses to our revolving fund and our formula grant fund, and also the Mass DOT grant accordingly. So the only lingering question, as I sort of alluded to in regards to the town finance committee meeting, was just, would really love to have an answer on, whatever that ends up being on the assistant director's salary, just a why for whatever the answer may be. So would love to have that. Any questions on finance? No? Okay. Next up is Misha's report from the assistant director. A lot of really wonderful things going on. A big one, as mentioned in the top, is the inaugural volunteer email, really just highlighting a few of the stats that came out from the past year, as well as just a big thank you for our volunteers to help make it happen. We will be hosting our volunteer appreciation in April. We are going over the list and within the next couple of weeks, and invites will be sent out accordingly by somewhere the 1st of March, around there, with the exact date. But we are very excited to be hosting it at Whittier Tech. Super excited for a number of reasons. Our Poets In program that we did a couple of weeks ago was overfull. People just really loved it, so I think they're going to be really excited to go back to Whittier Tech. I think it's just a wonderful program. They will be providing or serving, we will be paying, but they'll be serving, the food for all of it, and so it helps us as staff and as volunteers to have a break of some extent, so that we aren't asking our volunteers to also serve themselves. It's nice. And the newsletter will be coming out next week, and a lot of really great programs coming up there, including a couple of educational ones, one from Buttonwoods Museum, a few collaborations within the town department, including the Conservation Committee. We're bringing back line dancing, lots of good stuff. Any questions on programs? I included, the regular tables in there, and then at the end of the document is the full breakdown of how many people came. Highlighting events tomorrow is the Retro Luncheon. It is sold out, 40 attendees. There is a wait list, so that's exciting. We have the Peabody Essex Museum on Monday, February 26th. There's just a couple spots left on that, so if there is anybody interested, definitely give us a call. As already mentioned, Maria Stefanos will be here on Saturday, March 9th, 1 p.m. Again, very limited availability. And then our newsletter is coming out with all of our events next week. Of course, it will be emailed to anyone that wants to be and or is already on our email list. Otherwise, it will be distributed around town, in Haverhill at their library, and a few other surrounding places. Food insecurity. I wanted to have a shout out about our 3 tax work-off participants working in the pantry, because it is it's a big task. Small pantry, but really working with a lot of people to fill the need, because we had a pretty big month last month. 1,752 pounds were given out, and 87, that's duplicated people, received services. But yeah, so the roles of our 3 tax work-off participants that help make this happen, they contact, homebound older adults to assist with placing grocery orders. They pack the grocery bags for delivery, as well as provide general support, like organizing the shelves, making sure that things are being rotated in and out, and also conducting regular inventory checks of all the items in the pantry. So again, such a huge help, and that's just the tax work-off people, not to mention all of the volunteers that are bringing in donations to support our pantry, as well as the drivers to deliver the food. So really, really appreciate it. Thank you. The needs, Easter's coming up, March 31st. We had thought maybe it might be nice. We're always hearing a need about baking supplies, as well as spices and seasonings, so maybe something for the special occasion would be a nice treat for them, as well as the staples, paper products and Market Basket gift cards. Carrie and I are working on to develop a Market Basket gift card policy, so we are in the works on that, so we can have again, an answer to the why, for our people that come in.
When you say baking supplies, do you mean things like flour, sugar?
Flour, sugar, butter, chocolate chips, anything like that, yeah.
And mixes?
Yeah, mixes are great, yeah. Yeah.
I had, excuse me, I'd spoken
Carrie?
to Carrie, thank you, also, I don't know, Kelly, no, Carrie. One thing that if people do not have the like the eggs and the whole thing, there is a way, and this, they did a fundraiser with the Scouts, that you can make cakes, like a birthday cake, and they collected the aluminum pans, the disposable aluminum pans, cake mix, frosting mix, and a can of soda, and you can make a birthday cake with that, or a cake. You don't need the eggs and all of that. And so that might be, an idea if people don't have the eggs, or, maybe a few of those things, but,
And a recipe card.
and a recipe, well, yes, because it's on the internet, but yes, and a recipe card, how to do, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I thought that was
I
a
like that.
good idea,
Yeah.
very easy. You don't have to go out and buy a dozen eggs when you only need 2. You don't have to buy a big thing of oil when you only need 1/3 of a cup. Notice how I know these, because that's how I make my cups, my cakes. I don't do it from scratch. But other baking supplies too, that's a good idea.
Yeah, thank you. Good. Any questions about pantry or food insecurity? We are adding next month a weekly trip to Our Neighbor's Table. Not a weekly, my apologies, a monthly trip to Our Neighbor's Table. So people, that is just, a reminder, that is where we get the majority of our food is from the partnership with Our Neighbor's Table, ultimately through the Greater Boston Food Bank. People can only go to one or the other once a week. So just putting it out there, it's not a both, it's a one or the other, but the idea being that Our Neighbor's Table is just larger. And so there's more diversity in the offerings for people to go in there. So yeah, we're excited about that. Just a reminder, I left the text the same, but, would love to have any sort of house party, coffee, tea chat. We had our first one yesterday with Barbara. She generously opened up her house to myself and a number of her neighbors, and I thought it went well, but certainly if you had any
It
feedback.
did. It went very well. It was very well received. The comments from the people who came were extremely positive and grateful, and they were so appreciative of all the information that they got. People brought notebooks and were taking notes, and I received texts afterwards last night from people saying, that was really great, really enjoyed it. So it felt wonderful, and these were just my immediate neighbors. I said to one of them, imagine in the need, like even in the rest of my neighborhood. So yeah, it was very simple. I just made coffee, tea, and had some cake and crackers and cheese, and that's all there was to it, and it was great.
Yeah, and it was casual. I mean, certainly
Very.
I did, a little spiel about what who the COA is and what we do, but there was it was a great conversation, and not only me sharing information, but just got some really great ideas about programming, and particularly for outreach programming that we can offer. So, yeah. So if you're interested, or anyone out there, let me know. The other question I had for you, I put it in the email yesterday, and we can talk about it now, or we can talk about it later, are the logos that we put out there. So this is just a first draft of potential ideas. Again, noting that this since 1999 is a pure placeholder. We have been around since 1973. The designers, definitely more than willing to take any feedback if we like colors from one or the other, or like the font from one, we can switch it to the other. Or, if there's anything like that, would love to hear, so we can really have something that when people see it, that they know, oh, that's a Groveland COA event.
So do you want, you would ask like your least, your favorite, your whatever, do you want us to vote like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hand it in?
Sure, that sounds good.
Do you want feedback now?
Feedback now is good too.
Okay, number one's my first choice.
Okay.
Mine
too.
Me too.
Really?
I like the circle.
Yes.
We do think alike
Oh,
here.
that may
I
not
would
be a good
like
thing.
the color of the green to be darker.
Yes.
Are we in sync?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
What a team.
I agree with number one. I like the fact that it has the date on it, and I like the circle. It seems like encompassing and welcoming. And the colors, yeah, just a little bit darker, but I like that one.
If colors could be bolder, I like number one because the caring for community, connecting people, and delivering essentials were in the largest font, easiest to read. I felt strongest message.
And to be clear, I wrote that message. It doesn't have to stick. So if there's
I think it works.
there's something else.
It's what we do.
Okay.
Right.
Exactly.
It's perfect. I can't believe we all said, thank you.
I know, huh?
Well, the staff agreed.
Oh.
I
there you go.
actually chose something else.
Well, just out of curiosity, which one did you like?
I really like number 3.
That was my second choice.
That
Yeah.
was my second choice, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But number
And the other
1
two
is
are
What I
Yeah.
don't like about number 3 is when you put print on the outside circle and people
Yeah.
have to turn their head to
Yeah.
read it, it's not as prominent.
Yep.
I agree
And
with
the
my
font
colleague
is-
to my right that the caring for community, connecting people and delivering essentials is,
Yeah. Awesome.
This was mine.
All right, so
It's
we
strong.
have
It's
colors
strong.
need to be bolder, definitely a darker green.
my
We'll
word.
update
Yes.
the date. And, we'll have another go at it, and I'll send it out to you and see what we think. Wonderful.
is that going to go on the brochure?
Ideally, yep.
Good.
Very nice.
And then moving on to the engagement celebration and symposium, I put on the potential agenda there just to give you all an idea. Since we've last spoken, we have secured the date of Saturday, June 29th at the Pentucket Regional High School. There is a save the date message in the upcoming newsletter, and working on connecting it all. A big piece is that keynote address. I've made a few inquiries and discussions. I can share that with you later, but if anybody else has ideas, let me know too. Really looking for a speaker that shows passion and enthusiasm about aging, because there is just a lot of really wonderful things that we can continue to do in our later years. So, yeah, I want to highlight that. Yeah.
Alyssa, have you inquired of other area COAs if they have hosted a symposium like this and
Yeah,
perhaps
so
had a
certainly
speaker?
wasn't a novel idea. So North Andover has done it for a couple years, and they've had people. I think our communities are so close that we would want to make sure that they're different. But yeah, they've
Right,
had
right.
good success with it. Yeah.
But I wondered if there were suggestions for keynote speakers. Is there anyone at Merrimack College that does a course on ageism or,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. No, those are the lines that I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah.
okay,
Awesome.
something will happen.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely. There are a lot of wonderful people out there. Great, senior center updates, nothing new at the moment, but other than I will say, people are continuously asking for it, want updates on it, are supportive of it. We just need to have space and time to work a little bit more on it, and we will. General admin updates, Carrie, our outreach and pantry manager, she had joined us, early December, of course, mid fiscal year. So we do have a few will certainly stay within budget, will be under budget just because of a vacancy in that role. So she'll be extending her hours from 16 to 19 just through the duration of this fiscal year. And then come fiscal year 25, July 1st, she'll go back to 16. So that was good. Also wanted to make sure that you all are aware that there was a minor incident with the van January 29th. There's just a small scrape on the driver's side door. We are looking to, I've certainly informed Rebecca, the town administrator, the van is in the town's name. We're hoping to get it fixed with Greenwood Auto. It's just taking a little while to get things rolling, and I know that they are very popular and booked, but we hope to get it through. And it's nothing urgent, but we do want to make sure it's taken care of. And certainly for the long run, the reason this happened is because our driver was trying to get snow off the top of the van, so he needed to stand up at the front of Town Hall and park close to the wall there and just scraped it. So we now have a very tall snow brush. It's also angled, so one can get from it to it by standing on the ground.
And I think for the cost to repair it,
Yeah.
the DOT grant, we did include, when we wrote that grant, or when we applied for the grant, we included money for van, if any maintenance or repairs were needed, so
Yep, yeah,
that could be paid out of the DOT grant.
yep, absolutely. Great. And then just the last one was, wanted to say, make a public acknowledgement to the COA staff, Nisha and Carrie and Frank and Joe. I know I've definitely been asking a lot of them. They're all taking on leadership roles in various capacities, from leading our team meetings to doing these informational sessions and writing reports. So really appreciate their work. And also I would note, through trying to develop a culture of learning. And so that's part of the element of leading the team meetings is, everybody sort of takes a moment to share something that they've learned in regards to our sector. And so we can share the knowledge. So I thank them. That is it on my director's report.
Well, thank you very much. I know that you said you were pressed for time, but that is, once again, a very comprehensive, thorough report with all information, so
I
thank you.
will send it via email as well. And
Well, thank you again for that report.
Indeed.
Under old business, revised bylaws vote. We did have the special meeting on February 1st where we finalized the bylaws changes that were then submitted to the town administrator, who then has to do certain things herself to get it on the town warrant and then to go to approval at the town meeting. So that has been done. I don't have a recap right here. They're in my notes somewhere. Does anyone have a recap roughly of what the bylaw changes were? Okay.
Well, I have them. and it's a lot,
Slightly
so-
reorganized so that committee bylaws were clustered together, responsibilities of officers clustered together, and just revised for clarity and accuracy and fluency, I think.
I'm sorry, is this
How I
feedback from
summarize
Rebecca that we're talking about?
No, this is A general.
No.
No.
Oh, well, just what we did, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Which we
we-
really didn't change much of anything.
I don't believe we've heard back from Rebecca. I believe, so we have to vote a second time because we did make more changes at our February 1st meeting.
We did.
So I think we need
Yes.
to vote again.
Yes.
That this is the final, we have to vote twice on,
Indeed,
so today we will need to take a vote,
I would think so.
right?
Right.
Right. Do we want to use the same motion even?
Yes.
Well-
You mean for the same person anymore?
At our February 1st meeting, Deb, you made a motion?
Right, it was just, the only changes were,
Letters and numbers.
Organization,
Right.
a
it was
lot of
just-
organization.
Right,
And lettered, right?
right.
Right.
So yes. I would
Yes.
say I will make the same motion that I
Have
made,
you,
whatever that was.
it's on the back of the, it's on the back of today's agenda.
I make a motion to approve the changes to the COA bylaws made at the January 17th meeting.
Second?
Second it.
Okay. All those, in-
No, made at February 1st meeting.
No, on February 1st, we voted to approve the changes made on January 17th. On February 1st, we didn't really change, we had questions on capitalization, we had questions on,
So you don't think we need to take a second vote?
no, we have to take a second vote on January 17th.
All right.
Yes.
So you said- all right.
Because
yeah.
the gist of it is all what we did on January 17th.
Okay,
And we
exactly.
actually, I think, on February 1st, said we would submit them to the town administrator, and if we didn't properly understand the organizational and the indentation and the numbering logic,
She would take care of that.
yes.
And
So,
she just wanted to run it by town council.
Yeah.
And I assume she has.
I mean, I think we still want to vote, because I don't think we actually made changes, we questioned things.
Yeah, I don't think there were any.
There was
changes.
capitalization
Edited.
issues.
We didn't really revise, we
Yeah, it was-
edited.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I mean,
Yeah, okay, so go ahead, I'm sorry. So the motion was
I made my motion.
Okay, I second.
Oh, no, Linda already seconded.
Oh, okay.
Seconded.
Now we're having discussion.
Sorry, I'm quick.
okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
We are on discussion, right?
discussion.
So now I'm
Oh, sorry.
confused. Are we doing a vote today and another vote, or is
No.
this the second vote?
This is the second
This
vote.
should be the second.
All right.
Now,
Now.
if there's no other discussion, sorry, all those in favor?
I was out
Okay.
of order.
All right, so moved, thank you.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, well, everything else under old business, except for the last item, engagement, symposium celebration update, outreach and pantry food service update, senior task center force update, has all been covered in the director's report discussion. Subcommittee updates.
I didn't know if there would be any.
I will just mention that I believe it's next month, we will be asking for nominations, and two people's terms are up, and it's Irene and Marie. So give consideration. There is a thing in our bylaws that you can re-up if no one else comes forward, and I haven't
Can't
heard.
hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me? I'm sorry. I wasn't going to talk.
This is the list you made,
Yeah.
so, like by my name, it says go off in June of '27.
I made that list?
Yes.
I have that list too somewhere.
I thought, no, because it's 6
Because
years. Oh, wait a minute,
One can
you,
renew and serve another 3-year term.
yes. Did you replace, yeah, you replaced me. Oh, it's not you.
Well, because I'm on
I
the
I don't
Yes.
think so. I'm not
Who-
seeing that,
Oh, okay, no,
Anyone.
so it's the 3 years. Your 3 years are up.
yes.
So do you want to repeat? Do you
Yeah,
want to come on?
sure.
Yes, well, that's what I'm asking, I guess, not that you have to go off.
Right.
Do you, and Marie?
I don't think so.
Oh, see, so we will need a, we'll persuade you. But just to give it thought, and, okay, if,
It's-
and also, you know, down the road, we will need to be doing that.
I have
So-
a few, like, health issues and things, so I don't know if I want to extend it for 3 years.
Okay, well, you could always just do it and then, you know, resign.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. Well, give it consideration. It's not something that has to be brought up today. I mean, I brought it up just to keep in mind. Okay, I opened a can of worms. Go ahead.
Well, no, it's good, because we
No,
need to
it's
know
good to
that.
verify.
Right,
In
so
light of the
that, you know,
fact,
if there's anyone out there that might
Yeah,
want to be
in
on
light
the
of-
board.
Yes.
in light
you
of the
don't.
fact that
If
Marie might
anyone
not
knows.
wish to renew her term for 3 years, is there anybody else on the board or out there who would be interested in being the treasurer for the Council on Aging, starting July 1st for 3 years? So
Right.
that's something to think about. So, no, I'm glad you brought it up.
Can I ask, and this can be offline if needed, but what is the process if somebody was interested in joining the board?
Let us know.
Just show up.
And then, I mean, in the
Breathe at this
bylaws,
time.
we do, let's say there were 5 people that showed up.
Uh-huh.
There would be a vote of the board, a ballot.
Yeah,
So they
be
would
a-
contact you.
Right.
somebody
I don't think that has
directly.
ever been an issue.
I was just curious.
So it might be, we're getting a lot more visible.
We are,
And
we
we're a
are.
lot, I mean, we're functioning,
A functioning board,
Well,
a big,
right
a
now.
good functioning
Right.
board right now.
it might be.
It might be.
Yeah, and from
Would
the
they
people
then-
that we have that are interested, we would then, nominate someone and vote in that.
Right.
So would they'd go to the nominating committee first, correct? Anyone that was interested?
Mhm.
So if
And the
anyone
nomination
mentioned it to you, you'd steer them to the
Committee
nominating.
is, I believe it's Laurel and Linda.
Yep.
Yes.
There is
And does that
no
work?
stipulation that a board member
Thank
has
you.
to be a resident of Groveland.
Oh, yes, yes.
There is
Not in
none.
there?
Board member what?
Yeah, a board member does not have to be a Groveland resident.
Oh,
It-
okay,
It's not in the
Right.
bylaws,
okay.
so that's, might open.
Mm-hmm. Because it's a
Maria,
committee, not a board.
Hopefully you would want to stay with the group, though,
Oh, yeah.
if possible, yeah.
I enjoyed being on the board, but I think that,
But we have
You're
7-member
looking-
board, so that,
yeah.
if we have a new treasurer on the board, you're certainly welcome to
Oh, that's
still
good
come to the
know.
meetings and have input. Just not be a voting board member, so to
Right.
speak. All right, well, I'm glad we brought that up. Thank you. Any other discussion on subcommittees?
I don't have the agenda, and I forgot. Will the personnel committee meeting, will the personnel committee be meeting? And/or is there any discussion about the salary question?
Personnel Subcommittee is Irene and
Me.
Larry?
Yes.
Yeah.
We could certainly meet.
We
We have nothing scheduled, but
Right.
we could set something up.
Is this about the future?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just to confirm, knowing that, understanding that the budget, as much as we can advocate, is under the direction of the town. I just want to make sure that we keep those most impacted involved in the conversation.
All right, if there is no other old business discussion, we'll move on to new business. Future programs were discussed in the director's report, unless there's any other questions or discussion about future programs?
A question? Tomorrow's retro hits, how are you, do you have all the, do you need any help with the setup and
We are-
everything?
We are all set. I actually will not be at the event myself. I have something else I need to attend to. Nisha will be running it along with the volunteers that she's already
Okay.
requested. So we're in good shape. Thank you for asking, though.
Coming at 10:30?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Pat,
Um,
and Pat Smith.
Friends of the Council on Aging Townwide Yard Sale Update. Would you like to lead that discussion, Larry?
Sure. 8 of us met yesterday to have a preliminary discussion about a townwide yard sale. We have some suggested dates that need to go before the Friends Board for approval, but we're looking potentially, I think it's April 27th or May 4th.
Fourth, right.
With May 4th being a rain date. And we don't have details squared away yet. We have there's a Friends Board meeting on March 7th, and we will make a presentation at that time to the board. Hopefully, it'll be approved, and that'll be the Friends' major spring fundraiser. So stay tuned.
Was there any discussion on financial goal? Just curious.
People who have run it in the past were not available for yesterday's meeting, so hopefully we'll get an idea. I'm thinking potentially $1,000 would be our goal. And we're looking at additional ways to get for the Friends to get revenue from this.
Wonderful, thank you.
So is the plan to charge everyone who wants to be a yard sale participant? And in return, the Friends provide the maps and do some publicity?
Yes.
I'm just going to throw one thing out there, is that before, when people used to actually take ads in the newspaper, there was some financial sense in doing that. Now, where everything's on social media, I'm not sure people are, just my personal thought, I'm not sure how much people are going to be willing to pay, because a lot of people just piggyback on it.
Right.
You know, they see that, and they throw up their yard sale. So that's
Talked about that,
just my
too.
only concern, is that everything's on social media. Nobody puts an ad in the newspaper anymore and has to spend whatever they used to have to spend. Just,
Right. And it could be that,
We did
but
talk
we're
about
going to pitch it as a fundraiser. So hopefully people will not piggyback on, it's, going to be a nominal fee. And I'm hoping that, we'll find out one way or another.
yeah.
It might be that the effort is worthwhile, it might be that the effort isn't worthwhile, but there seems to be a clamoring for a town-wide event.
Oh,
That's what I
absolutely.
have heard.
I think having a townwide event is great. I just, with the Friends meeting that I went to, some of the numbers that I was hearing thrown around to charge,
No.
I was like, nobody's ever going to pay
They
that
won't
kind
pay
of
it.
money.
Right, so I
discussed
have, and it has been brought up for
25.
discussion at the selectmen's meeting, there is a yard sale fee that people are supposed to pay when they have a yard sale of $10. I know that not many people took out the permit last year. I asked Beth Cuniff, she said there were 8 yard sale permits pulled last year in the town.
Yeah, that's a problem too.
Right, so, part of the fee would be, we're going to ask the selectmen to waive the $10 fee that nobody pays anyhow.
Oh, now it's announced.
So, we'll just see what happens with it.
We could promote that, though,
And
you're
we'll
waiving your
We'll have
fee.
some fun
Yeah.
putting it together anyhow.
Right.
We get a chance to work together, yes.
Another idea is if you had a common place. I know years ago, they had the plant sale in the fire station, a common place where, and if you want to come here and have a table, you could like rent a table, instead of having it at your own house, and bring your yard sale stuff there. Like
Well,
like
we
they
have a
have at the
tent.
church.
Or under the tent.
We have
Or
a
under
tent.
the tent.
Yes.
Because they had, and that's a community thing, and people might say, oh, I'll go there because there'll be 10 vendors instead of driving all around town. I mean, as another opportunity, charge more, charge less, whatever.
Right.
I'm just thinking,
That was
That was
raised as a possibility.
too.
I think we're going to just go simple at first, and maybe that would be an add-on, because people would have to transport their
that's the
belongings
other thing,
here.
that's true.
I think that's, and Alyssa mentioned that VC Park has a flea market, which is a similar, we wouldn't want to be in conflict with their fundraising efforts. So it just, these are all good things to ponder and think
Right.
about, and, hopefully we can have a broader discussion at the next Friends meeting.
Do we know when VZ has its flea market, so we're not in
Yeah,
competition?
it's in March. It's actually in the next newsletter.
Oh, okay.
I want to, it's March 20-something.
right.
I don't
Okay.
remember the
So it's
exact
far
date,
enough
but
away.
it's publicized, it's indoor, should be good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't want to go into too much more detail about,
Right, because it's something.
because it's a Friends organization, and it'll be discussed in great detail at the meeting on March 7th. But one advantage to paying for this, the fee, however much it is to have a table at the townwide yard sale, is not only as a fundraiser, this is how you could support your Council on Aging, but also because they would, if they pay, they would get the map, and so that people would know where to go on the map. Instead of just driving aimlessly around town, you'll have a map available, and that's part of what your fee would go for, to be on the map. So that will be discussed a lot at March 7th meeting, and we'll have much more to say about that at our next regular monthly board meeting. Thank you to everyone who turned out for that meeting yesterday. It was great to have all the input from people.
I think it's important to note that, as we grow, the Friends group is also growing, and want to encourage people in the community and outside the community to get involved.
Any other discussion about that? The next item is items for town meeting. Not quite sure what that.
Well, we know that our bylaws will come up for vote or will be presented for voting, so I was wondering if there were any other related issues to the COA that needed to be addressed at town meeting.
I mean, the budget will be part of it,
Budget,
obviously.
Yeah.
When we find out what they've approved. Right.
Yeah, and I think, that's definitely, as I emailed the board, of question of what happens if our budget, as we would like to see it, doesn't go through.
Do we know how it works for bylaws to be voted on at town meeting? Do people actually see our bylaws? Or is it just that town administrator, town council have approved them and then there's a vote? I don't
Good question.
know.
I don't remember how we did it, like at the library. I
don't
believe it
remember.
just went through, and I think copies were available beforehand.
I don't know, this might have to be printed in the warrant.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That would be up to.
I mean, when they change zoning bylaws, those
Right.
get printed, right? Those were always,
Yes.
aren't they always in the warrant? I feel like I remember seeing zoning bylaws.
I think I don't think they print the whole thing. I think they print the changes.
I know, but ours is a pretty massive.
That will be up to, I don't
Yeah.
think there's anything we have to do. That would be up to the selectmen and Rebecca, town administrator, to decide how it would be voted on, right?
I was looking to see if there was any, Rebecca had sent a response, I think it was your question, Larry, about what was the next process on this, and she wrote back about what the process would be for getting it on the warrant, so if I can find that, and that has
Oh.
anything of interest, I'll bring it up. I'll look for that.
I believe they just she presents it
Yeah.
to the selectmen. This is the
Yeah.
warrant. I'm not sure.
All right,
Getting
then.
old, can't remember everything.
The next item is discussion
Van.
of our monthly meeting focus area, which in this month is the Council on Aging van.
Thank you for sending out all of this. I was amazed at.
So, yeah, absolutely. So this was something I was able to email you in advance. Hopefully this answers the questions that I was given, but certainly if I missed anything, don't hesitate to bring it up now, and/or maybe this brings up other questions. More than happy to answer. Just a big overview is that the van fees collected, and that means van fees collected on rides plus the trips for outings, came to be about $3,500 for fiscal year '23. the town allocated about 2,500, they allocated 2,500 for COA vehicle maintenance expenses. The actual expenses in FY '23 were about 2,300. I would note that we were under warranty during that year, and I know that there were a number of issues that were thankfully covered under that warranty. So.
Do you have the data for what the amount was that was covered by being under warranty?
I haven't looked for it. I would assume that we have invoices and receipts for it.
And
Yeah.
for how much longer is the van under
I
warranty?
believe it ends in March.
Of
but I
this
can
year.
double check.
Oh, next month.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Um,
Oh, dear.
Which is one of the reasons why we put it in the DOT grant, because we knew that the warranty was running out.
Mhm.
I mean, something to think about, and I know one of the reasons, and certainly jump in if I misunderstood, is that we wanted to figure out why do we charge what we charge, right?
That, and how do we better utilize the van? I mean, my gut feel, I looked at it last night, but on my phone, it's a little difficult. And my gut feel is that it's a very underutilized resource, except maybe on Wednesdays. That's my gut feel. My gut feel is that there's a lot, and I just don't, I don't know if you want to go through page by page, or if you just want me to jump in with questions.
You can jump in.
So on the page that says days of the week, the days of the week, ride requests within Groveland, I don't, are these average? Is this a time period? I don't know what I'm looking at.
So this was the number, there's not very many ride requests within Groveland. So these, of course, all, just to clarify for those listening, is that our van is available for Groveland residents, older adult residents. So there's not that many places that people are going inside Groveland. That's the dentist,
Eye
maybe an
doctor.
eye doctor,
Bank,
and the bank.
Hairdresser.
And so this is, for the fiscal year '23
So
within
this is,
Groveland.
but, again, is this an,
No, so these are the number of rides requested in Groveland that the COA van took. There is
for
another
what time period, though?
for fiscal year '23.
So
So
only
For
three.
the whole
For
year?
the whole year, there was
One?
like 3 requests on a Monday, 4 requests on a Thursday.
For a destination within Groveland.
Right,
Inside
but still,
Groveland.
but-
But if you look on, most
Two
of our
pages
requests
later.
are
Yeah.
outside of Groveland.
Right. So, so I guess the other thing, again, so if you just look at Mondays, for example, we have 19 requests outside of Groveland, 3 requests inside of Groveland. So a Monday request is 22 out of theoretically 52. I mean, there's holidays, so whatever. So just even say out of 45, roughly, there's only roughly 1 ride every other Monday. Am I reading this, am I interpreting this correctly?
I mean, I think it's because the numbers are so small, it can be easily skewed that way,
But-
so.
I mean,
So
it's,
I think we do have, some Mondays, there's a handful of rides, other Mondays, there's no rides.
there's no
right?
rights, right. And so that's just,
But on the outside of Groveland request page, it's 19 for the van and 18 for neat.
right, but
So
I
the-
don't,
Right,
for
if-
what I'm
okay.
looking to understand,
Yeah.
I don't really care about NEAT.
Well, but the NEAT number is important because those are rides that we couldn't, for whatever reason, accommodate, right? Because we can't be, we,
2 people in 10 o'clock appointment type
Yeah.
thing?
Right, right, and I'm sure that NEAT goes places that Groveland doesn't.
yeah, yeah,
NEAT brings you into Boston,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Groveland, the Groveland Council on Aging van isn't going to probably bring you
No,
into
within
Boston.
the Merrimack Valley,
So-
yeah,
Even so,
yeah, yeah.
I'm still at 19 and 18 is 37, even if I use those and assume that every single Monday NEAT ride was because we couldn't accommodate, because we had a
Yeah.
conflict. And then I go back to my 3 within Groveland. I'm still, at Monday, being pretty much underutilized. So the whole reason I started this, a year ago maybe, asking about this and saying I wanted to talk about it, was we have this resource. We have a great resource that we don't want to lose. And the best way not to lose something is to utilize it and keep it very important. So that's kind of what I'm trying to understand. What else could we be doing? And, like, for example, could we do and I'm just throwing
Yeah.
random ideas out here. Could Monday be a regularly scheduled library trip? And we have the van, and it says, okay, we'll go around Groveland. The library opens at 1. We'll go around Groveland starting at 12:45 or whatever. Let us know. We'll pick you up. We'll bring you to the library, and we'll let you stay at the library for 45 minutes or whatever, an hour, and then we'll drive you home. I mean, are there things that we could be doing like that?
Or
Could we
even
do,
programs at the library that they have during the day,
right,
you know, that they, I
You
mean,
know.
Sue had, the adult
Yes.
services has a lot of programs that are during the day, up at BZ,
At
at the
BZ,
library.
right.
and
Could
not-
we-
Not at BZ, and BZ.
yeah,
they go
there's
to
things at
BZ.
BZ during the day.
Nichols, thank you.
Yeah.
Could think of, you know, like what your husband does, you know,
Right, could
maybe
we,
they would like to go, but can't
because
get there.
it's really, that those little trips within Groveland, they're essentially a sunk cost.
Yeah, so I think a couple things. One is, absolutely right, and I think that sort of broadly covers our COA in general, right, and hence the visibility piece. So would love to put these things maybe on this transportation flyer that I'm thinking about doing to sort of spark interest of these are all the things you could use with it, absolutely. And also maybe let our partner sites know that they can advertise the service too, is a good idea, yeah.
Because to
Yeah,
be
and
honest, I
the
used
trips
to
are
think it was
expensive.
only for the doctors. I thought it was only if you needed it to go to the doctors or to go get food.
And some
Not to-
COAs are like that, yeah.
But it's not. I'm letting the people out there know, it's
Yeah.
not. It's,
Yeah.
you want to visit a friend across, you know,
Absolutely, visit friends, visit family.
hairdresser, whatever.
Absolutely.
You want to go to a library program, you want to go up to BZ.
I know.
You know.
And I still think, though,
I
that
think
it's,
it
I
is
think,
usable.
for what we bring in fee revenue, we don't bring in a lot. But I also think the fees are high. For people on fixed incomes, I think the fees are high.
Yes, agree, and I'm wondering, two things, I'm putting it out there, not, really for discussion. Do we adjust the fee for these in-town Groveland and Groveland
Yeah.
things versus keeping the other fee for, because it is a significant amount for the trips and for the outside of the Haverhill, Georgetown, Groveland. And that I can see, as you all well know, our maintenance is only going to increase. And so, even if we have grants, it would be nice to have a fund set aside for maintenance, which I think, that way we have, again, the answer to the why do you charge these fees? We can say because we want to, truly want to upkeep this great van. Yeah. Yeah, so maybe, we can talk about the fee situation for Groveland separate.
So it's $8 for inside Groveland?
For inside Groveland, yeah, so if somebody wanted to go to, the eye doctor, it's $8. We don't charge for people that want to come to our COA events.
That's what I was
That
going to
is a
ask.
little bit tricky to schedule, but we do offer it. And then we don't charge for the weekly grocery shopping trip. And then we won't be charging to the monthly Our Neighbors Table Market.
I don't know, I just feel like $8 is, I mean,
I agree.
it's 2.5 gallons
But
of
it's
gas.
cheaper than if you used a taxi cab. I'm sure. And I'm thinking down the road, when I cannot drive anymore, and I wanted to go somewhere, $8, well, I might just stay at home. I won't go visit Deb.
I mean, I just think
Or I'd
that
have to
if-
call someone to come and pick me up that I know,
I
yeah.
guess I just feel that if our mission is truly to connect people, to keep them engaged, to have better health outcomes, we want to make it as easy
Unless it's
financially and
expensive.
fiscally.
Right.
I wonder if maybe if we could try it out. If we could pick, a couple months
Right.
and, if we do throwing it out there like July through October, that way it gives us time to advertise it to our own community. But I think even more importantly, and to Deb's point, is making sure that our partner organizations can also utilize and share the resource.
I just think we have this asset.
Yeah.
I worry it needs to be better utilized, I think. That's
Yeah,
my own opinion. And I know that the van drivers, some days are very, very busy, and they're going, and
Yeah.
other days aren't. And how do we, and that's why, having the days of the week information, I think, is great.
Yeah.
Because then maybe you say, okay, Monday's our least utilized day, then let's have that be library day.
Yep. Yeah, the
whatever.
other thing, I think that we could do better at would be utilizing volunteers for some of the utilizing volunteers
Non-van necessary.
for delivering of supplies and things. I mean, we have such a tremendous group that helps with the meals, with the groceries that I see. We spend a few hours every month on Traveling Chef, and again, really great service, but it's a significant time spent.
Yeah, and I think we can find volunteers. I think we've discovered that over the last year and a half,
Yeah.
that we can find volunteers to do things.
Would it be a possible strategy is to put it as a suggested fee, and if people could not, and if it was a burden for them to pay, that they could?
So we can always accept donations, so we can say that, and sometimes, people do ask, for, particularly when we're driving people to our events, to the drivers, what do we owe you? And I think, thank you, Larry, for that, because people sometimes want to feel that they are, not feel, but that they are contributing, that they do have control over this and helping support, so we can
And
make it.
$8 for some people isn't an issue.
So I would be happy, one, we're going to make the flyer. We're going to connect with our community partners. And then we do the trial period July through October. I mean, as we said, it was $72 for July, or for
I know.
all of fiscal
That-
year '23 for
Yeah.
in Groveland, so we won't be
Right.
missing that.
That was what jumped right out at me. It's like, we're not going to lose a lot of money on this.
No, and maybe it would be better utilized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And really, eye-opener, it's not just for doctor's appointments or
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, that was my impression when I first heard about the van. It's like, oh, it's only for essential purposes. It's not. It can be, I want to visit somebody, I want to go to the library, I want to go to the hairdresser.
It's-
I didn't even
It goes
think they
back
would
to the
do that.
mission. It's to further the mission. A couple of things that also might have skewed the numbers is we had a period of time where the van was
Right.
out of operation, and we
Right.
had a period of time where we weren't fully
Right.
staffed with the driver.
Right.
That's certainly going to affect these numbers.
I understand this, but I mean, honestly, I don't think it's
Not gonna be
skewed
bad.
much.
Yeah.
I think Mondays have always been a very low utilized day.
And
You know.
Joe is eager to drive.
Yeah.
He is, he's
I know,
wonderful.
and that's why, I just don't know.
I
just think
these
always
are great
wonderful,
ideas.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the library would be a
We do
perfect
have a
spot
great
to start
group.
bringing people.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, synergy.
All right, great, yeah, so we'll definitely do the flyer sooner than later, same as this one. I'll put it out there to make sure that we cover all bases. And I'll also share the list of ideas with, community partners in case we have any other ideas. So, yeah.
And thank you for putting all this together.
Yeah,
This
no,
is a
it
ton
was
of
really
information.
interesting to
Informative.
me,
Just to
too.
see the numbers.
Yeah.
No, it gives a ton of information.
Sort of opened your eyes.
the utilization of it.
All right, well, thank you for that, for the presentation of the report and for the comments and discussion. This is why we do this, and great ideas and great input. Just before we move on to the other item on the agenda, I did find that email from Rebecca regarding the process for the bylaws change.
Oh, good.
Would you like me to read that, or would
Yes,
you like
please.
me to email it to members on the board? It's
Well,
not
is it
terribly
private?
long, so
Read it.
I can, okay, I'm glad.
It still doesn't, I found it also, and it doesn't clarify whether or not the whole, because we made some pretty substantive changes in the organization of this, and it seems to me that this would all have to be, put on the warrant. So
I
that
don't
might
know, but-
limit, depending on how big
I
the
think so,
warrant
too.
is this year, there's printing costs and all of that, they might decide that, well, who knows what they'll think. I mean, there have been so many improvements, updates of paperwork in town, and, from the personnel policies and bylaws in general, this might be the time to do it, just get it all done in one fell swoop. So, we'll see.
There was just a couple of points in her email that I thought were interesting. She receives it, reviews the articles with counsel to make sure it verifies compliance with the laws. All general bylaws must be approved by town meeting. The Board of Selectmen do not need to approve the article. However, they can vote not to include an article on the warrant. The board usually closes warrant in March. She places the draft warrant before the Finance Board and Board of Selectmen, makes a recommendation to town meeting on each article, whether they recommend favorable or unfavorable approval. Board of Selectmen approve the entire warrant. The article must then be approved at town meeting. So we assume that's by the vote.
Can you send that email?
Absolutely.
Share that email with us?
Yep.
Because all I got from her was thank you. So I didn't, all right,
Well, you've got the important information here.
yeah.
Okay. Figure out a way to, the thread on the email is like, 20 pages long, but I'll try to
Oh,
figure out a
golly
way to
gee.
maybe do a screenshot of it.
Yes,
Just
and,
send the screenshot.
okay.
Okay.
That sounds like a
20
good idea.
pages.
I wouldn't even read the damn. I'd be,
All right, the other
wouldn't even read the damn thing.
item on the agenda under new business is March Council on Aging Board Meeting Focus Area of Outreach Operations.
Next month.
So as always, if there's any specific questions that you would like to know about outreach, let me know.
I think this type of report that you did for the van, pulling it up from, I'm assuming you pulled it up from that,
For my seniors.
my senior center. That, I think, with the graphs and everything, is great. You can
Okay.
see, I don't know if everyone else agreed, but I'm a visual, yeah,
Yeah.
well, okay.
I'm visual.
So that would be good. And I don't know if we could have Carrie come or
Yeah.
have her.
Yes, we'll try. It's,
Yeah.
it is Wednesday, and that is
Right,
our.
it's a busy day, yeah.
time. I know.
So I do have a question. Should we keep this as our topic for March, or is there anything else that is sort of superseding this in importance because of timeliness and the town meeting coming up? Just throwing it out there. I have no clue.
Well, we've already submitted our budget.
Yeah.
With,
Done bylaws.
and we've approved our bylaws.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's anything else at town meeting that would impact the COA that we
Right.
don't, I don't know
Yeah,
if there's anything else.
that's why I'm asking. What more would we need to discuss or decide upon before that? Okay, looks like nothing.
I think just, again, I feel like we're going over it, but to have a plan of action in mind and to share what that action is from the board if the salary doesn't go where it's been asked to go.
Is there an alternative plan?
I think that is up to board to decide if they want to go any further with that. And certainly that can be a smaller personnel committee meeting.
All right,
Okay.
thank you. Any other discussion, questions, new business comments? All right, then, I think that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen.
Can I just say thank you, Alyssa, for
Oh, my goodness.
newsletter, pulling together significant data in an organized way to support the discussions, and your amazingly detailed and clear director reports. Thank you.
Of course, my pleasure. I mean, it's nice to be able to share what we do. So, because we do so much, and sometimes just peeking in at a moment here and there doesn't give anyone the full picture. So I appreciate you being open to see it all.
And even the progress for our visibility and connectability.
And I just do have one quick question on the engagement seminar. How soon are you going to let us know what you need us to do as far as volunteering? And are we going to sign up for different shifts? I mean, summer is busy, so probably the sooner you get us booked.
Yes. So, well, I will take your RSVP now if you're able to volunteer and work that out. I haven't decided if there would be shifts or sort of what tasks, but certainly that would be my vision is to figure out the tasks. So, looking at the agenda, right, like for registration,
right.
Who's going to do that? Who's going to, when we open it up for the classes and workshops, just being in the hallway to direct people. We'll have signage, but it's always nice to be able to ask somebody, so things like that. So yeah, if you are available and know that you would be available at a certain time period, you can go ahead and let me know anytime, but I will ask as well. So.
I have one more question also. In terms of recruiting volunteers also for the townwide yard sale, when is the volunteer newsletter put out?
So this is Nisha's initiative. I know she was, thinking it wouldn't be a regular basis. I don't know if it was going to be quarterly or whatnot.
We could just, if we're looking to recruit people for that,
Yeah,
Nisha
I mean,
could
she
just put
has a list. Yeah, if you wanted to,
just put a flash out.
put the text together
Okay.
that she could send out on
Okay.
your behalf, absolutely.
And we can certainly bring that up at the Friends meeting next month, that, we're looking for volunteers for our engagement day. And pull some people from that group as well.
Yeah.
All right, then, if there is no other discussion, questions, or comments, may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved?
Second,
All those in favor?
next meeting?
Meeting adjourned at 10:45.
10:45.
Our next meeting is on March 20th.